Hello. In one of my previous videos, someone asked me what my experience with crypto is, if I had regrets, and how I do crypto plays. And so, I'm going to make this little video. The first time I heard of Bitcoin was when it was really new and very few people had it, and it was less than $1. But the only people who had it were those who wanted to buy things that were not tracked. They wanted to do things outside of banks, and so I wasn't really into it. It was brand new, and I remember this one story that someone told about an idiot with the TSA who who claimed that she saw bitcoins in his bag and wanted to stop him. But I didn't get any then, and in some ways I wish I would have, because now it's around the $100,000. So if I had bought a few of them, I would have made this huge profit. But also, I could have always in there lost the wallet, which is what I guess would have happened. Another thing I did was I got involved with a company. I can't say who they are because it's still in the middle of litigation, and I have received some of my money back. I don't know if I'm going to get any more, but they claimed that they mined Bitcoin and were doing all this stuff, had all these backers, and I wish I wouldn't have given them any. And we were supposed to, with some of our money, get returns on everything that they mined. And they weren't these huge returns, but they were still really good. Ended up that they weren't doing anything, that it was a total scam. And I did, and the reason I kind of regret this is because when I was talking to him in the middle of everything, I kind of thought, this doesn't sound right, because I said how much I was going to send him on a certain date is when I told him that, and even before I sent him any, he was showing that I was getting returns just based on how much I was going to send him. And so I should have listened to myself, thinking, okay, I haven't yet sent any of my actual money. Why am I already entitled to some of the returns? And I still went ahead and sent the money in, and it wasn't much longer after that everything came to a head, and it ended up that they weren't doing anything. They were just keeping the money. And they did buy a bunch of equipment that had to get sold off and all, but that's what happened there. So I haven't actually bought any real crypto. I do have some that I did with a weekend-long seminar where we learned how to make our own coin. I do have a bunch of that. I don't know how much. I'd have to look it up. But that's where we're going with that. And we did learn how to make our own stuff, so that was nice. We learned how to do NFTs as well as altcoins. Mostly what I've done was traded stocks or ETFs that revolve around Bitcoin. One of them is Riot, RIOT. It's a Bitcoin miner. And here I have a list of a whole bunch. I've traded the MSTR. I've traded MARA. I have not traded BITF. Now this is the way I would recommend people who don't have a ton of money who are a little more risk averse, is just trade stocks or options in the some of the different stocks and ETFs that are related to crypto. But there's the MSTR, which a lot of people don't like, but I trade it short term. I'm in and out quite a few times. I've never traded BITF. I have traded MARA, Tesla, COIN, which is Coinbase, NVDA, which is NVIDIA, HUT I've never traded. I don't know anything about them. AMD, which is just a microchip. I have traded that. BTBT, I've never heard of, but that is only $3.11 per share. So I personally probably wouldn't have traded it. And then there's also CAN, which it looks like is only $1.82. So you can do stuff with different pricing. It's up to you which ones you want to do. And I don't really have recommendations of which are better. I mainly do options, and I mainly sell them. I have bought options on some of these, but I do more short term. And then here's some of the ETFs. I'm not familiar with really any of them or how they do stuff. I know people who do BITO, they have dividends, but when I looked, it looked like it was only a dividend at the end of the year. But all these other ETFs, I don't really know that much about. I know what the ARK ones are. Now, a lot of these do charge fees, so be aware of that. But anything else, I do pretty short term. I have done some long term for some of them. But for me personally, I prefer just to trade companies or ETFs that are related to the Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies rather than buying and selling the actual cryptocurrencies, just because of the risk involved. I never did the futures for Bitcoin because the margin requirement is so high. I know that you hear some people who are saying, oh, Bitcoin's going to go down to 10,000. That's where you should buy it. It went down to something like 25 or 30,000 and back up to 98 and over 100. And then you have people who buy it so that they can hedge, but realize that if there's a major market crash, then all correlation goes to 1, and the crypto prices will also go low. So those are some of my stories and the way I do things. Other people are going to do things a completely different way, which is legitimate. I'm not a huge risk taker, Most of my trades are somewhat high probability, low return. I do some other types that are higher return, but for the most part, I don't do too much that is kind of weird. But I'm also a short-term trader. So even when I have, say, NVIDIA or Coinbase or Tesla, MARA, Riot, MSTR, I don't have them for months and months at a time even. Sometimes it's a few weeks. Other times I'm in and out in one day. And others it's just through 1 week as far as my swing trading goes. So, hopefully this gives you some insight on the way I do things. Let me know if you have any other questions that I may be able to answer. I may be also able to put you in touch with people who know a lot more. I do know some that create their own coins and that invest in just about every of the garbage coins that come out, just to hope that some of them will do well, knowing that most of them won't. There are a lot of people who do that. Personally, I don't. It all depends on how much money you have and what your risk tolerances are. So, that's all I have for this video. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.